Hello and welcome to week 5 of home learning, extended learning, COVID break, whatever you want to call it. We're not in the classroom. Uh, Many of you have been doing very well with getting your lessons in. You've been very diligent about that. That is fantastic. Keep up the good work. We only have a couple of weeks left. I don't know where we're week 5, and I think we have a total of 7 weeks that we're going to be doing lessons. So we got 2 more weeks after this, and we're wrapping up the year. They're going to be 8th graders soon. So we've been working with integers. We did adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Now we are doing them all together at one same time. So order of operations, it doesn't change because we have integers involved. We're still going to use the same basic order. The first thing we always want to do is any kind of grouping. Okay, so if you have anything that sets that part separate from the rest of the problem. So these can be parentheses. That's our most common one that you guys will see, right? Sometimes we'll throw brackets at you. If you see brackets, that has to be done first. Other ones that you see that you will encounter soon is a radical. That's when you find the square root of a number. That we treat the same way. We have to do what's inside and take care of the radical first before we can do any math around it. Remember, parentheses, you do whatever's inside, and then you do the math that's around it. Just like at the very beginning of our absolute, or of our home learning, we did absolute value. It's the same thing, absolute value. You had to deal with what was inside the absolute value bars first, and then deal with the math around it. For this week, we're not going to see very much of these three. We're going to see maybe 1 or 2 parentheses, not a lot. Okay, what we're going to be focusing more on is probably the last couple steps below. So for number 2, these are going to be exponents. Again, not real high on our priority list right now. We haven't dealt a lot with them. So we're going to just set that to the side. Here is where our meat and potatoes are going to be this time. 3 and 4. You're doing these at the same time. This is the crucial thing. At the same time from left to right. It's division. Oops, God, I can't spell division. And multiplication. Okay, they happen at the exact same time. The way that I help myself remember that is there is no beginning, there is no end in a circle. There is no first, there is no second in a circle. Whatever you come to, wherever you start, that's what you do first. So notice that if I put my pen here, I'm going to do multiplication first, and then division, then multiplication. If I start here, I keep going clockwise. I'm going to do division first, and then multiplication, and then division. We go from left to right as we look at a problem. Be very cautious of that. To show you an example with just normal whole numbers, if I give you a problem that looks like this, 12 divided by 3 times 7. Okay. Do not fall for the PEMDAS trick. People will say PEMDAS, they think that multiplication has to come first, and it does not. At the same time from left to right. Here's the left hand of my page. I'm reading it just like a word or a number or a problem. I'm reading from the left to the right. And the first thing I get to here is this multiplication. Division. I have to do that division first. 12 divided by 3 gives you 4. And now I have my times 7, which will give you 28. If you did that out of order, you would have been trying to do 12 divided by 21, which is not correct, and you would not have the right answer. You have to do them in the proper order, okay? So please be very, very cautious of that. Once you're done with all multiplication and division throughout the whole problem, then we have our last two steps kind of combined together again. Same rule. At the same time, from left to right. Now we're going to bring in subtraction and addition. Okay, so this, and again, use my little diagram there. There is no beginning, there is no first, there is no second. It's whatever you start with is what you start with, and you look for the next problem. Okay, and it's from left to right. Okay, it is not addition and then subtraction because you spell PEMDAS, P-A-M-D-A-S. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's whichever comes first. So in this case, if I'm giving you a problem that looks like this, 7 minus 3 plus 2, you have to do the 7 minus 3 first. So we get, because we're going from left to right, this will give you 4. And then plus 2 will equal 6. 7 minus 3 is 4. Now I can do the add 2 and I get 6. If you did that in the wrong order, you would end up with 2, which would be incorrect. Okay, you have to do it from left to right. Okay, so be real careful with these things. Please make sure you use a checkoff list. You very cautiously go through the problems. I'm going to remind you of everything that you've been going over with all the integer work over the last couple weeks. When we are combining, remember rules of integers. Combining. Same sign. Add. And keep the sign. Different signs. Subtract. Keep sign of the greater value. So whichever had more is what you is what gets to keep their sign. So that was when we did the combining. Next, multiplication and division. I broke it up into 2 lessons, but really it follows the exact same rules. So I'm going to combine them here. And that is automatically, if it's the same sign, it's positive. Automatically. No questions asked. If it is different signs, the answer is automatically negative. Okay, so I'm going to throw down a problem here, and we're going to take a look at it, see, make sure we understand what we're supposed to do with this. So, an example, -3 plus 7 times -2. Okay, remember, we go through the order of operations. No parentheses here. The only parenthesis this is for is because it's a negative. I'm just keeping it in its own little house. So there's no functions to be done in a parenthesis, no groupings of any kind, no exponents. So next is multiplication and division from left to right. So I start over here on the left, and I just slowly go across looking for any multiplication or division. And you can see right here, we have a multiplication that I have to do. So I have a positive 7 times a negative 2. That will give me a negative 14. Positive and negative are different signs make it automatically a negative answer. I mean, 7 times 2 is 14. Now I still have this addition symbol. I still have this negative 3. So now I'm combining a negative 3 and a negative 14. They're the same signs, all right, up here, same signs. We're going to add them together. Think about it. What is 3 negatives and 14 negatives when you put them all together? Well, all together, that's going to be 17 negatives. Okay. Go through very cautiously, very carefully. Follow the steps, follow the rules. Okay. Do another one more here, and then I'll cut you loose. If we go with a negative 21 divided by 3 plus 2 times negative 7. Okay. No groupings that have to have functions done. No exponents. So next I'm going to look for multiplication and division from left to right. So as I start over here on the left, I start swinging across. I come to a division problem. This is the first thing I do. Division and multiplication always happen before addition. So I'm going to come through here. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Negative divided by positive, they're different, so it's automatically negative. I'm going to bring down everything else so I can keep track and see neatly what my work here is. All right, I'm looking again for any multiplication or division. That's addition. There's multiplication. This is what has to come next. Positive and negative make a negative. 2 times 7 is 14. So now I have negative 7 plus a negative 14. Well, just as I had up here, they are the same signs. Since they are the same signs, I'm going to get to add them and keep the sign. So I'm going to put my 7 and my 14 together, and I'm going to get 21, and I'm going to keep them as negative. And there's our final answer. So please very cautiously go through these, very carefully go through these. If you're not understanding, it's getting a little trickier. I'm going to expect some people to ask questions. Please do so. I don't think I've had a chance to really test out my ability to use the WebEx video stuff for a conference to help somebody. So I'm looking forward to the first person to ask for that. Otherwise, hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Stay inside, stay safe, and we'll see each other again someday. All right. Bye.